I love this question. I love it. Why in tar hootie are discus so ding dong expensive? Let me explain to you why. I'm gonna go ahead and just put it out there for everybody to just put it out. Just blah, blah. I'm gonna go over a couple of reasons that add to the expensive nature of disc. Got to stay to the end so that you can get the exact reason why they cost what they do. Used to be, discus were hard to breed, and it was just a lot easier to get wild discus and bring them into the country. Now, when you got wild discus out of the water in the Amazon, you had to take them to a facility right along the banks of the Amazon. Then they had to be in that facility. Then they had to go on a trip to like a facility that ships the fish across the South and Central America, and they had to come on the trip on the truck and go to the United States, and then they had to go to another facility. Then they had from that facility the transshipper. Then they had to go to the wholesalers, and then from the wholesalers they had to go to the pet stores, and from the pet stores they went to the aquariums. Now, it wasn't all that conducive to life, so a lot of fish would die. That person at the end of the chain, that pet store, basically had to pay the expenses of everything that came in between, including the deaths of fish. And at the end of the day, it was the consumer that paid for all these dead fish from the Amazon to your house. Breeding fish was kind of difficult. It was kind of difficult back in the day because the fish was not acclimating all. You had to be a really, really good breeder to breed the discus in captivity. And what happens when you're really, really good at something? You charge more for it. So, because there wasn't a whole lot of people that can do it, they had the ability to charge pretty much whatever they wanted. And they did. Because people bought them, they wanted them, they had to have them, so that's how much you had to pay. That is not so much the case anymore. In all 100% honesty, I don't see why raising discus fish, there's one small reason why, but for the most part, raising discus fish is really, really, really similar, almost identical to breeding and raising angelfish. The difference is angels normally have more fish per spawn, but the process of growing them out is actually very, very similar, getting them to breed and whatnot. In that aspect, I think that that's a little bit off. The number ratio is off. Now, because these pet stores don't necessarily wanting to have to refund the customers money because they sold the discus and the discus died, because when you sell a discus that's small, it's very weak. In honesty, I would never buy a discus this big. I would buy it maybe 4 inches, but I would never buy like a 2-inch discus. So the pet stores know this, that the chances of them getting a 2-inch discus and selling it, there's a big chance that it's gonna die at the customer's house, and the customer's gonna want a refund, so that they have to give the second. So he's pretty much throwing their money out there. So the pet stores don't really want to spend time with little fish that it could be a loss, so they go ahead and they get the bigger fish, charging 150, 100, 200, whatever. So that's another reason why the discus are the price that they are. But here's the number one reason why discus cost how much they are. You ready? Because somebody is willing to pay that outrageous price. And once anybody is willing to pay $200 for a fish this big, guess how much that fish is worth? $200, baby. It's the way the market works. If everybody in the world just was like, we're not going to buy discus until that price goes down, then guess what? The prices would go down. If you wanted to only pay $50 for a discus, then everybody in the world would be like, you know what? Don't nobody buy not a ding dong damn discus until they selling them for $50 at 4 inches. The price will go down. But that's not gonna happen, because somebody with money is gonna try and flex, and they're gonna go get the discus and be like, you can't afford $200 for one discus. You suck and you broke and you're on welfare and you shouldn't have discus because you ain't good. That's why. That's why. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Moneybags. Now I gotta pay a lot of money because you want to flex and get overpriced fish. Yes, some of them. I 100% totally appreciate you staying to the end of the video. I'm gonna leave some links to other videos that you might be interested in. If you feel froggy, go ahead and subscribe. I thank you in advance.